Afternoon, Commissioners. Today I'd like to bring to your attention a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in your county. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk when his helmet filled with water. This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they underwater? Now, what's really interesting is that they trained for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now, surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space, because that sure would be something, wouldn't it? I'm calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate the ISS, and if they don't have a darn good explanation as to why they're faking these.
This TikTok video is going viral.
We all remember the Challenger explosion that took place in 1986. It tragically took the lives of all 7 astronauts on board. A couple decades later, this thing called the internet came about, and someone allegedly found almost all of those astronauts alive and well, many using the same exact names. Challenger astronaut Judith Resnick, and also a Judith Resnick Yale law professor. Michael J. Smith, the pilot of the Challenger astronaut, and also professor at University of Wisconsin, now retired, Michael J. Smith. Commander Dick Scobie, who is now president of Cows and Trees. Now, if you'll notice, they all have the exact same faces 30 some odd years later, the same exact name, and they are the same age. Most people will say, if this is some elaborate conspiracy, why on earth did they not change their names? We've got to remember in 1986, it was a very different world, and no one could ever dream of the internet coming about and being able to search people, their names, their face, their profession. In the 1980s, it was just a different world where you were probably easier to disappear into the country.
I know that NASA's saying, stop it. My eyes are saying otherwise.
I would maybe give someone the benefit of the doubt if it was just one of them, but to have 2, 3, and 4 with the same names and staying in the same profession at times, like, it's very bizarre. And that's why we want a new investigation, because I don't think it's statistically possible for this to be just some anomaly.
NASA is an acronym for not a space agency. They've been caught deceiving the public numerous times through harnesses, green screen projections, photo manipulation, fisheye lens, and much more. With enough research, you'll find clip after clip of NASA fails. See, every photo of the Earth is CGI, the moon landings were all fake, and nothing's ever been to Mars. And everything you see is footage of Devon's Island in Canada. NASA also trains and films in an underwater pool, where they have an exact replica of the ISS. So it begs the question, why do we see bubbles in footage of supposed space? Are they just editing the background and making it look like they're up there? Also, the stars and planets look like nothing what we've been taught, strongly resembling light reflecting off of water, in the same way as the floor of an ocean or a pool, each pulsating with their own unique geometric pattern. And yet, despite all of this, we've allowed these fraudulent organizations to gaslight us into believing that we are spinning 1,000 miles an hour, hurtling around the sun at 66,000 miles an hour, flying with the solar system at 500,000 miles an hour, and yet we never feel a thing.
1st, 1959, all 12 countries active in Antarctica signed a United Nations treaty that outlawed all public travel south of the 60th southern parallel. This was the same time that NASA was formed. The world's attention was pulled away from exploring Antarctica and directed firmly on the moon. In 1962, a series of high-altitude nuclear tests was carried out by the United States. It was called Operation Fishbowl, which has caught the curiosity of many flat Earth researchers because the flat Earth model shared by the ancients was one where we lived within a sphere, upon a flat surface, and surrounded by a massive dome, like a fishbowl, or the Truman Show.
NASA. So here's the thing. NASA NASA isn't a space agency. NASA is the World Intelligence Agency. Everyone reports to them. FBI, CIA, KGB, CCP. Well, why would they lie about the shape of the Earth? What difference does it make? NASA was created right after Project High Jump, when Admiral Byrd flew out in Antarctica. On the other side of the South Pole, he found land bigger than the United States, filled with resources. Look at that. From middle America, he would be in where South Africa is, or where Australia is. And another continent the size of the United States that no one has ever seen or set foot upon? What does that mean? What if he went from middle America over what they call Antarctica and then found another continent out here?
And that would destroy our whole worldview of reality.
Now, what if there's other civilizations here? What if these are where the controllers of the world live? Okay, what if...
I'm getting chills right now.
Because the reality in your soul is going, yes, listen, right? Get rid of your programmed mind. People don't realize, well, Russia would have ratted us out and this and that. They're all in it together. Everything that you know is a lie. The United Nations map, flat earth map. International Maritime Organization, flat earth map. World Meteorological Organization, flat earth map. International Civil Aviation Organization. These are the things that control the world. Why do they all have flat earth maps?
Well, I don't know. Artistically, maybe they couldn't.
Artistically? Is that your explanation? Here, now let me ask you a question. If this is where we live, would you call this the outer space?
Sure.
What is it? More land? Extra territory? Extra terra?
Extraterrestrials.
Extraterrestrials from where?
Outer space.
Bingo. So why does it matter? Then when you understand that we're actually at the center of creation, this place was built for us, and we have natural law which says that nobody can take our free will away. Once you understand that nobody has control over you, you take your power back. You stop feeding this beast system that we're in. Globers think they know everything, but they don't know anything. And it's only for those that are willing to look and understand and see why it matters that get it. You know, once you get it, you can't unget it.
Sky, of course, was black.
The cool thing is about you can see it during the day.
Yeah, you can, and there's more than stars. You can see planets. You can see moons.
An unfathomable blackness.
And that when I look out at the stars and I see, so many stars and planets.
And when you're in space and you're looking into deep space and you're on the sun side of the orbit, the sunlight washes out all the starlight, so you can't see any stars. It's the darkest black you can imagine.
We can also see stars if we're on the dark side of Earth, and
the sky is a deep black when viewed from the moon. We were never able to see stars from the lunar surface or on the daylight side of the moon by eye without looking through the optics.
The thing about Carl Sagan, billions of stars, there really are billions and billions of stars.
The biggest visual surprise was just how black the sky was.
Reacts to the bug. Watch. He's trying to act like it's not there because it's not supposed to be there. Look at him. So I want...
I'm going to step off the left now. It's one small step for man, one giant leap. So, I guess you want to do it again. Okay.
What a day to be alive. Apparently, Nisara Jisara money has been paid into US bank accounts, and somebody on Instagram has just sent me this. It's an official NASA document report, and look at that. A Model 4 rigid aircraft flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Jesus. There's no way that could be fake. That's it, guys. The Earth's flat. Nisara Jisara is the real deal. I was wrong. Woohoo! Now, this is where flat earthers make me laugh. You all say that NASA's fake, but now all of a sudden somebody's made this photocopy of a NASA report. It's got to be real. So what is it? Are NASA real? Or are they fake? Or are they in on it? Or are they the truth tellers? Are they the Illuminati? Or are they the chosen ones?
I saw you say on another podcast that NASA's images have been faked.
Yeah, so NASA was started by a Nazi scientist named Werner von Braun. He came over to America as a part of what's called Operation Paperclip, where the US hired the top German scientists. So NASA comes from the Hebrew word Nasha, which means to deceive. And so it's not about my opinion whether they're faking these images and rocket launches, but the interesting thing is, so rocket ships go out of view and land in controlled waters. And it's a huge money laundering tax scheme. And the logo, because this world is ran by signs and symbols, it's not governed by words nor law, but you have to learn how to translate the symbols. And so if you look at the symbol of NASA, it's distinctly the ring around Saturn, which Saturn and Satan are the same thing.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. Because we didn't